so good. So good. Oh yeah, there's a dangerous undercurrent for sure. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. Curse of Fenric is one of my favorite Doctor Who stories of all time. I easily rank it in my top 5 amongst the likes of Genesis of the Daleks, Human Condition, Family of Blood, Hellbent. This is just a phenomenal story. And it's one that I completely missed out on until my first time through this ridiculous project. I adored it a year and a half ago, and I love it even more today. So good. In many ways, this story is the template for the Stephen Moffat era of Doctor Who. This story reveals so much about Ace's background and about other events in Doctor Who history. The story shows that the way that Ace got to Iceworld, where the Doctor first met her, was because of a storm caused by Fenric. Given that this story was supposed to be the season opener, but then swapped positions with Battlefield because it was thought to be a better Halloween story, and oh my god, this is an excellent Halloween story. But this story sets up Ghostlight, which would have been the next story. Not only that, the story gives a better explanation for the existence of the closed vacuum emboyment that the Doctor and Romana fall through back during the E-Space trilogy, where they meet Adric. And speaking of that story, full circle, there's a sequence in part 4 of Curse of Fenric with the herbivores, the vampire creatures, striding up out of the water that is completely reminiscent of the swamp creatures coming up out of the swamp in Full Circle, of the sea devils coming up onto the English shore in, well, Sea Devils. And it very much reminds me of the imagery from the classic 80s horror film Shockwaves, also set in World War II, with the Nazi zombie creatures striding up out of the water. It is just powerful imagery, and the story is chock full of it. By the time you get to part 4, it is so intense, with the dynamics of the battle between the herbivores and Fenric, and the Russian soldiers and the American soldiers, and rapidly changing alliances, and thrilling action sequences. Oh my god, this is just so good. Oh, but the moment is when all of the Doctor's manipulations come to a head, and he's very nearly undone because of Ace's faith in him. It's repeatedly shown in this story that against the herbivores, faith is the only defense, whether it's a faith in God or a faith in country or simple faith in humanity. That faith creates a psychic wall around a person that repels the herbivore. And when it comes to the climax of the story, where it's imperative to the Doctor for there to be a battle between Fenric and the ancient old one, the last of the herbivores, Ace's faith in the Doctor runs the whole thing off the rails. And so the Doctor has to do a terrible thing and completely break down and destroy Ace's faith in him. It's a heart-wrenching scene, and it's a key emotional moment for the character. Sophie Aldred is so good in that sequence, and in the moment it is absolutely believable that she is completely broken. And at that moment, when the psychic barriers are down and Fenric is at his most powerful and assured of victory, that is where the ancient old one turns and destroys itself and Fenric in the same burst of poison. Oh, so good. Honestly, this story is excellent on its own merits. You don't even need to know anything about Doctor Who. The Blu-ray restoration is phenomenal. There is a film-length cut of the story with all 4 episodes edited together into one continuous story with a fantastic restoration of the video quality, a few subtle enhanced special effects, and a few extended sequences taken from originally shot material that hadn't been broadcast to begin with. I can't recommend this highly enough. If you were to watch one classic Doctor Who story, well, it should be Genesis of the Daleks. But if you are watching two classic Doctor Who stories, this one would be a very, very close second. And it kills me that tomorrow is my last day with the classic series. And I so wish the classic series had gone out on this story and not the next one. But I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll see you then.